So earlier this year, Easton and I decided to take on the learning of solving the Rubik's Cube. And I figured that we would watch a half-hour YouTube video, and at the end of it, we would both go on to impress everybody very easily. What I learned during that half hour was that I probably could solve it. I felt I could solve it. However, it was going to require a tremendous amount of time, energy, and effort into learning it, and I quickly fizzled out. Easton, on the other hand, he stuck with it for almost a year and recently solved it, which was a tremendous accomplishment for him. Not only for the fact that he had solved the cube, but for the fact that he had disciplined himself to stick with something for the duration of time to actually complete it. And that is a life skill that will probably go even far beyond solving the cube itself. Now, some of the other things that I learned while Easton was solving the cube was that this cube would essentially never be solved by accident. I used to think that if you just fiddled with it enough and turned it, that you could just stumble upon the completion. But I learned that it is not without a tremendous amount of intentionality and detail will the cube be solved. Everything about solving the cube is specific, it is intentional, and it is in order. Anything you'd like to tell us that you learned while solving it? Nothing.
No.
Nothing. This had been a milestone in our family, I would say, because up until this point, everything that he has learned has been taught by his mother or I. And this was something that he took on by himself in his own effort and stuck with it to see it through. And it became immediately weird that my 9-year-old son knew and understood something that I didn't. I expect this when he gets older, of course, but I wasn't ready for it so soon. So he's now teaching me how to solve it, and I will get there. It's going to take some time, but I've gotten the first 2 layers he's taught me, and we're working on the last one. So maybe keep an eye out for an update on that. But like I said, it's been a milestone in our family that we didn't teach him how to solve the cube, but we did teach him the resolve. We did teach him that if he sticks with something and if he wants it bad enough, and if you follow it through, that you can accomplish what you set your mind and heart to. So as we went through this journey of solving the cube, Easton learning how to solve it, another thing that really stuck out to me was, like I mentioned earlier, the intentionality and the specific order in which it takes to solve the cube. Now, this cube in of itself is very simplistic in form, and it pales in comparison to things like our body and the solar system and the ecosystem, and yet this will virtually never be solved with any given amount of time. I would even say an eternal amount of time. It would never fall into place or into order. And as I considered that, a scripture came to my mind, and that would be Colossians 1:15, which says, "Christ is the visible image of the invisible God, He existed before anything was created and is supreme over all creation. For through him, God created everything, in the heavenly realm and on earth. He made the things we see and the things we can't see, such as thrones, kingdoms, rulers, and authorities in the unseen world. Everything was created through him and for him. He existed before anything else, and he holds all creation together. And as I speak that scripture, like I said, something so simplistic in form, made by man, would virtually never be solved by accident or by coincidence. Yet the earth is made up of so many more complex systems of order that it would take more faith to believe that they fell into place than it does a creator that created them. And as Christians, we believe that that is none other than Christ himself, that he created the world and everything that's in it, and we get to be part of that creation, and that's a really exciting thing. So we just encourage you and challenge you today to extend your faith, deepen your faith, and challenge your faith in everyday simplistic tasks and even puzzles like this Rubik's Cube. Good job.